'Tis the season to fight for democracy. The breakdown starts now. Good evening and welcome to the breakdown. I am Tara Setmayer. This is the Rick Wilson, and we hope that everyone is with us tonight to enjoy a little holiday cheer as we have our special breakdown holiday edition. I hope everyone has a beverage because I certainly have mine right here. And Rick, it's been quite the year. This is the last show of the year for us.
It is the last show of the season.
And we wanted to have a little bit of a roundup, talk a couple of headlines, and bring in some of the people who are behind the scenes here at Lincoln Project that help make all the magic happen. So stay tuned for that. We'll be bringing some of them in, and we'll get to see how people are festive. I don't know. The Teakster might make an appearance or two. He's around here somewhere.
So I was a little bit late coming into to getting this set up because I was having a wrestling match with a certain cat who did not want to wear her festive fucking hat. Thank you very much.
So that's funny you say that because Tiki has a Christmas coat. And people who get my Christmas cards have probably seen Tiki in his Christmas getup. He does something every year. We put him in something cute. And he actually doesn't mind it. But this year, I don't know where his Christmas coat is. It's somewhere. I can't find it. So we may have to have a, Tiki just in his tuxedo this year. If he
I figured it was probably better for me to come on the air not suffering from massive blood loss than to try to continue to put the hat on the cat.
Right.
I got an Instagram picture of it last night, and it took like a lot of nip beforehand.
Oh my God, that's so funny. We have a catnip called Meowawana. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have seen it.
It's like, what is this? Tiki loves it. He's very hip. Anyway, before we start bringing folks in and talking a little bit of end of the year roundup and get to show some of the faces behind the magic, I just wanted to talk a couple headlines. So first off, there's been some more developments here in this January 6th stuff. Rick, I know you're happy. I'm happy to see this.
Sure.
Things are ramping up, and they're ramping up in a significant way.
They really are. It has come to the point now where the critique I have of the 1-6 Commission that it wasn't moving fast enough. I wish they'd been doing this before. I have no complaints now about the cadence and the pace that they're pursuing this now. And especially with the release of these text messages of the Republican members of Congress that are coming out. I mean, and Jim Jordan looks as even more nervous and ratty than usual. I saw a picture of him today. He looked like he should be in the hold of a ship somewhere trying to gnaw through something. He just looked like he was so nervous.
Does he look like it every day? He looks like
yeah,
every
kind
day.
of, but
every day. He was particularly more naughty today. And yes, I mean, I tweeted out that, all that stammering and stumbling over his words a couple months ago when he was asked about his contacts with Trump. It all makes sense now.
Of course, he was sending Trump and Trump's team suggestions on how to overthrow the election.
And God knows what else. And we've said this before on this show, and I've said it on air and other places, that if Democrats don't wake up and get their acts together and Republicans win back the Congress, you're not going to see Speaker McCarthy.
Right. You're going to see Speaker Jordan.
That's right. And so, this is the guy.
He's more excited about that prospect than he is about a locker room full of athletes. I mean, this is a guy who really is thinking that he could be Speaker. And he's going to do everything he can to keep on the straight and narrow with Trump, because look, Trump's attacking Mitch McConnell. If McCarthy steps 1 millimeter out of line, Trump will drop on him like 1,000 tons of filet-o-fish, and it's going to get ugly. So it's pretty exciting right now, I think, in terms of the pressure being brought at long last. You even see like Marjorie Taylor Greene looking like she ate something sour, and it's not been a great week for them. And especially for the Fox News hosts who are backing and filling like crazy. And Laura, if you want to mention us more, say my name, bitch, at me. Because she is so the Lincoln Project's doing this for Liz Cheney. Yeah. I'm sorry, did I just make a mocking imitation of Laura Ingraham? What I missed there was the sort of sadness and loneliness that she's suddenly feeling, because she is another person now on Trump's permanent list. I mean, Don Jr. is like the Kendall Roy of the Trump family. Stop this shit now. Trump's like, what shit? I liked that shit.
Right. That's right. Oh my God, it's so true. And Laura Ingraham is. I have a visceral reaction to her because I do find her to be just insufferable. And the absolute smugness, but yet you could tell that they're a bit nervous. The banter between her and Hannity the other night. Oh, they don't like us anymore, and Hannity whining about his privacy rights being violated because the texts were turned over.
Sean.
Listen, and Sean
Come
knows
on.
better. Okay, you don't have
Of
any
course he
privacy when you're
does.
texting a public phone. When I worked on Capitol
Right.
Hill and I had a public, a government issued BlackBerry, that could be subpoenaed at any time. And that's the legislative branch. It's a little different than you don't have to keep records like you do with the executive branch. But the chief of staff, every communication is
Of course
recorded
it is.
for history. So Sean
Except,
Hannity
of
knows
course,
better.
that Meadows was putting onto a private phone, which is illegal.
Right.
As a government official to conduct government business on your private communications platforms.
Correct. Oh,
And
remember
know,
her emails? Remember?
Oh, yes,
Hillary?
I remember but her emails. It was, and look, I look back on it now, and I was critical of Hillary for being sloppy with her ComSec, but this is a massive, and look, we're never going to see what they were going on about on Signal and, or Telegram. We're never going to see that. Or any of the other, end-to-end encrypted platforms. But we are going to see these idiots who are sending text messages where the metadata and the messages themselves are public records. And we're going to be able to piece this together. And I think the committee has finally, I don't know how or when or why, but they clearly decided that applying the same kind of techniques you would do this against a terrorist cell, you look at who's calling who's talking to who when, who's in what room with somebody else, the geolocation on their phones. All this is going to come together in a beautiful wedding cake of trouble for these people. So
I hope so.
I think it's a little bit of a Christmas gift, and I want to thank the 1-6 committee for their lovely gift. I'll be sending a thank you note.
Indeed. We tonight we toast the
Cheers,
January
1-6 committee.
Thank you. And
to your staffers who
yes.
really are trying to do their very best work.
Absolutely. Which has always been the case. And we, when we've been critical, it's been out of love. Out of love.
Tough love is still love,
That's
baby.
right. That's right. Speaking of, tough love came from the Lincoln Project founders 2 years ago tomorrow. 2 years ago tomorrow is the anniversary of the birth of the Lincoln Project. And, it's felt like dog years. There's been so much. I've been there with you guys from the beginning and watched this.
What you don't know, folks, is that I'm 31 years old, and
right. And he had hair before all this started.
Beautiful flowing golden locks.
Right.
All gone.
Oh my goodness. So instead I have them now.
Yes.
But no, it's really extraordinary the work the Lincoln Project has done, and through the peaks and valleys and everything else, but it has been an extraordinary experience. And I have to say that I've been proud of the work that we've done. I've been proud of the impact that the Lincoln Project has had, as Stu Stevens would say. You wrote an op-ed and a movement showed up, and we are carrying that on now. And we want to debut our exclusive anniversary ad for you guys tonight. Take a look.
That's how it started. 2 years ago, a group of former Republican consultants came together to fight the danger their party posed to the American experiment, a citizens' movement not tied to any party or special interests. Americans running to the sound of the guns to fight for the country they loved. America won on November 3rd, 2020. But in the days that followed, the last shreds of Republican Party decency died, replaced by a violent, brutal, autocratic movement. Every day, we learn more about the plot to kill American democracy. There is no compromise with this evil, with this hate. The choice is clear. Will American democracy continue, or will it die at the ballot box and in the courtroom? The Lincoln Project is not conservative or liberal. It is American. Millions united to do what we can to stop the unthinkable from becoming inevitable. We don't know if we'll win, but we do know if we don't fight, they will succeed. So we fight. Join us.
That's it, folks. That's what we've been fighting for. and what we will continue to fight for. That's the effort we've undertaken here. And I think it's really important that there's a message in there. We're not Republicans or Democrats anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all of us, I think almost all of us are registered independents now. And folks, it's not because it's the convenient thing to do. It's not because it's the easy thing to do. We have disagreements all the time inside, but we're not a policy organization. We're an organization committed to the defense of this republic and of this fragile democracy in which we live. And we're enormously grateful in this holiday season, this Christmas season, for all the love and support and encouragement from folks around this country. We had some dark times in the beginning of this year. It was a rough start to the year. We're not going to lie. There were days when we didn't know we'd make it. There were days when our critics on the right and the left both hoped we wouldn't make it. And yet we rise, we get up, we keep fighting, because the mission's more important than our comfort. The mission's more important than anything. The mission's more important than most people in this country are comfortable admitting to themselves is the reality. This is a nation where if we don't fight for everything we've got, with everything we've got, we will lose it. And so we're here. We're grateful. We want to thank all of you for your love and your support and everything else in the course of this year, because it has meant the world to us. It has meant everything. And cheers to 2 years and counting, and for more successful years fighting for our democracy. So cheers to the Lincoln Project. Now, let's bring in some of the people behind our ads and behind the magic, including the voiceover of that ad right there. Let's bring in Michelle Kinney. She's our creative director. There she is. Michelle Kinney.
Michelle, the voice behind our ads. And among many things, she is a Jill of all trades and master of many. And we are thrilled to introduce...
I said earlier, master of some, maybe.
I know, but I'm giving you more credit because I think that you're master of many.
If you folks want to know, how an idea springs out of my rather enormous head, or Stuart's, or Reed's, or Joe's, or anybody else on the team, and actually gets made, you're looking at her. Michelle basically runs what is the equivalent of a major national ad agency for the Lincoln Project, where we produce amazing content that gets millions and millions of views, and we do it in a time window that would make most ad agency people curl up in a ball and weep silently, because they would say, "Dear God, that can't be done." But we do it, and we do it almost every damn day. And Michelle is the linchpin of all that.
I concur. Cheers to Michelle.
Cheers to Michelle.
And the entire creative department. Yes. Michelle, would you like to say a few words before we bring in the rest of the folks?
I mean, thank you. I'm so flattered. That's very nice of you to say. All I want to say is I'm so happy and proud to be here, because the night that Trump won the election, I think I speak for a lot of people who work with us on the team. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel possible that I was seeing what I was seeing on my television. And I vowed in that moment I was going to turn my life upside down to go fix it. And that's what I spent the next 4 years doing. I volunteered in local politics. I knocked on a lot of doors. So the fact that I'm here at the Lincoln Project and I'm able to make a difference in this capacity is really personally a dream come true, but also feels so important to me just as an American. And I am a Democrat. I mean, I came to work for a bunch of former Republicans. Never in my life did I think that would happen. So, cheers to you guys. For changing my mind about a lot of things too. So.
Well, listen, democracy knows no partisanship at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I love about the Lincoln Project is that everybody who comes in here and busts their ass and shows they've got the grit, the determination, and the energy to put into it, and the creativity, they're going to find a spot, and they're going to rise to that spot. And Michelle has done that, and we are so proud of you, Michelle. And we love you to death. You do a killer job for us every day. And you are an amazing person.
Yes. And you look fabulous, by the way, tonight.
You do look
I love it.
Very glamorous.
Yes.
The only party I'm probably going to be at for a long time. So
don't feel bad.
Everyone in New York City has COVID right now. Like everyone. I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't. So
Yeah.
Here we are.
Stay safe, hang out with us virtually. And Michelle also is a cat lover like we are and has two adorable kitties that are menaces just like ours as well. They're around there somewhere. Sterling and Oscar, right?
Yes.
Sterling and Oliver.
Oliver.
Mhm.
That's too funny. Tiki is around here. He's lurking. He'll show up, I think.
Speaking of menaces, by the way, not to change the subject,
Yeah.
but just before the show aired, my dogs took 2 heads of broccoli off the counter and ate them, and they ate a wooden spoon. So it was while I was getting ready for the show, trying to put the hat on the cat, and the dogs were having broccoli for
Never a
dinner.
dull moment.
Never.
So if anyone was wondering why we were 2 minutes late, we all had a couple of things happening that involved merriment and Christmas cheer and wooden spoons and broccoli. Let's bring in Kate, who is also part of the creative team. Kate is our young phenom who now has a new title. She has been promoted, and Kate has been doing a lot of our rapid response. When you see the last week in the Republican parties, Kate's fingers and brain is behind all of that with her team. And Kate Salkowitz, we're happy to have you. Welcome. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Introduce yourself to the Lincoln Project LPTV world.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I can't take credit for the masterpiece that is Last Week in the Republican Party. That is all my counterpart, Jeff.
That is Jeff.
And he swallows all of that garbage every week and spits out just pure comedy, and it's amazing. I am always feeling blessed and happy to be here. You guys basically hired me off the street when I graduated college into COVID.
Yep.
And I basically, I made this sample ad. My dad was a big Lincoln Project fan, and he was like, you could do that. I was like, no, I can't. They're so good. How could I ever do that? And he was like, just make something and send it to them. And you guys like hired me off the street, and I feel
I remember
so
I remember you were a little shocked. We're like, yeah, come on board.
Right.
Literally, I remember you guys, like someone emailed me back for what sounded like it was going to be an interview, and I remember it was on a Monday, and on the call they were like, okay, so you start Wednesday. I was like prepared to answer all these questions. They were like, you start Wednesday. I was like, okay.
Oh, that's so funny. Well,
Yeah,
things
we
move
kinda
fast
move
in campaigns.
When we want somebody, we kind of move fast on it. So
I feel like I learn like so much every day just being here. Like Rick, whenever I call you and I have this like half-baked idea, I feel like you're on it. Like, you know exactly what it is that it needs. And I just know exactly what to do next. And I'm taking mental notes all the time.
Kate, that comes from a lifetime of half-baked ideas that Rick has come up
believe
with
me,
and kicked down the road.
I do like, listen, there's a simple rule. I'll come up with 10 great ideas in a day, except they're not all great. 2 of them are great. 8 of them are going to put somebody in jail.
I can vouch for that.
Well, one of the things that Kate, you were directly involved in were the billboards in Times Square, right?
I helped consult on it a little. I was not the final design.
Right, but that was one of your big projects. So if people remember during 2020, Lincoln Project trolled Ivanka and Jared in Times Square in their home city there with the billboards about COVID, and it did not make them happy. I think that they threatened to sue LP, didn't they?
Yeah, how'd that work out for them? But I will say this. I mean, Kate, one of the things Lincoln Project did, we did a lot of stuff, folks, that a super PAC doesn't do. We had, we started a podcast. We started this LPTV, a streaming channel, because folks want to get information about things that's real. We also made a music video last year, which Kate was the lead editor on, with Demi Lovato, which was a very surprising and interesting experience, I think, for all of us.
That's right.
So cheers to Kate on that. What was that like, Kate? And then we're going to bring in Ryan.
That was the most insane, I want to say, between 36 and 48 hours of the entire time that we were out in Utah, which was just getting a call at like 8 o'clock in the morning that was like, hey, we're doing a music video with Demi Lovato and Rick wants you to do all of it. And I was like, me? Well, when does it have to be done? And they were like, in like 2 days, is that okay? And I was like, okay. And I spent I just sat all day, Rick, in your condo there across the table
We
from
set
you.
up a little we set up a little studio in my condo, and everybody's in and out like, oh God, what are we doing?
There's like a documentary crew behind me. You're like on MSNBC across the table from me, and I'm just like, and I'm sitting here like
just working on a video for one of the biggest, pop stars in the country. Just like whatever. But that was
one of my favorite things that I ever made. And I will say none of anything that we did last year, like I cried a little when Kamala spoke after they were declared winners, and none of it really hit me. And one day I was like going through and organizing my files when I got back to Austin, and I went back and I watched it, and I cried for like an hour. Like that was the thing that was like, oh my God, like we did it.
It was an amazing video. Yeah, that was an amazing video. Commander in Chief, right? That's what it was called?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it was powerful. It was powerful. So cheers to you, Kate, and thank you for all of your talent. And we look forward to what you're going to, what you and your team are going to produce this year. So cheers to you and Kate. And let's bring in Ryan, who was our communications director, who is now our staff director. And Ryan has been there with us through the trenches as well. Ryan, sometimes you guys see her. She guest hosts Lunch with Lincoln for Reed. Ryan, welcome. Merry Christmas. I love the background.
Merry Christmas. This is how I'm hiding from my kids.
Damien and Lucifer.
My sweet, sweet boys are watching this in another room. I'm just
that's too funny. So Ryan, you've been there with Lincoln Project for a while too. And so what were some of the highlights for you? And as we're heading into 2022, what are you looking forward to?
Oh man, there are so many highlights. I mean, Utah was the best of times and it was the worst of times, but there was a lot of bonding that went on there because we were sleeping about 4 hours a night, and like we moved out there and we're living with strangers during COVID in the middle of nowhere. And so, I mean, I would think that whole experience was something. And I haven't yet discovered, what kind of something that was, but that was something. And I guess everyone else will discover what that something was when the documentary comes out. That's been great. But honestly, the thing I love the most about this.
Do people know the documentary? I don't think they do.
What?
I don't think people really know about the documentary.
Oh, well, there's a documentary.
There's a documentary crew with us the whole time. It's called The Real Housewives of Park City.
We had people like living with us 24/7 during the most stressful time in the nation's history. It was so good, y'all. So exciting.
Coming to a screen. Yeah, coming to a screen near you.
I had two rules in the documentary, people. You will never film me eating.
That's true.
And you will never go upstairs in my condo.
This is true.
Because that's where the red room is.
Oh God, he's just kidding, people. There was no red room. We have to.
There were just bodies. I mean, that's where he stacks the bodies. You don't want to. Yeah. It's better not to know. It really But no, I mean, my favorite part about working here is the staff. The team that we have here is really incredible, and they're made up of a diverse group of people. Some on all sides of the spectrum. And we have some very progressive Democrats. We have some former Republicans. We kind of have a little bit of everything. And, it works. We collaborate a lot. We use chats and we're in them all day long. And I mean, really, I think getting to know this team and getting to lead this team is such an honor because there's so much talent here. And it's just really impressive. And the fact that it came from, like I said, all walks of life, all ages, across the board. Like it's a really, really neat lightning in a bottle kind of situation that I feel really honored to be a part of, and a bigger honor that I get to lead it. So it's awesome. This is a great place. And it's been an interesting year. There have been highs, there have definitely been lows, but I'm really glad that we are finishing off the year on a high note and that we have such an incredible plan going forward into next year. I mean, we've been sitting in, Rick and Michelle and I have been sitting in strategic meetings for this week, trying to come up with, what next year looks like. And you guys, it is going to be phenomenal. So
we are going to blow shit
good
up.
Stuff coming for you. So stay tuned.
Well, cheers to you, Ryan, and to the comms team and our social guys, to RC and B, and the folks behind the scenes that help run all of our social and our Twitter and our comm shop. And we are appreciative of you guys. And like Ryan said, stay tuned, because 2022 we have lots in store.
It's gonna get lit.
Indeed. So cheers to you, Ryan. Thank you to you guys. We're going to bring in Lisa
Thanks,
and Maya
everybody.
next, and we may see you all at the end of the show to say goodbye. But let's bring in Lisa and Maya, who are our companions here at LPTV. Fancy, Lisa, with the feathers. I love it.
Get on it.
This goes on my tree.
Maya, is that the Yule log channel behind you?
It is. I think it might be. And it's got a nice little flicker
I am okay
to it.
with that.
You took the words out of my mouth, Rick, because I grew up in Jersey, so it used to have on Channel 11 WPIX the Yule log. Would go on Christmas, and a lot of people didn't know what that was. So I was like, wait a minute, there's a Yule log in LA? Because Maya, you're out there on the West Coast.
It's safer. This is the safe kind of fireplace to have in LA. You know what I mean?
This time. I was out there in January of 20, just after the big speech at Cooper Union, and the mountains were on fire outside of LA. I'm like,
that's right.
That's accurate.
This is sporty.
I will not be the cause of that this year.
Good for you.
This is the kind of fire you have where you don't end up sued.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas where Lisa lives, there has to be a fire like 24 hours a day, or you all freeze on the tundra.
That's really true. You can't see it, but I have a fire burning in the living room. And if I could have one burning in here with me too, I would do that.
But we don't want you to go up in flames.
I was going to say, that's flammable.
I would stay well clear with that on.
So Lisa, you've been around, you've been with us. Maya's the newcomer, but Lisa, you've been with Lincoln Project for a little while. And what has it been like for you in the evolution even of where speaking and what you've seen going on in the country, and you guys bring such an important voice to it. What's it been like for you?
Well, one of the great things that has happened in my life in the past year is Maya coming into it and being able to do We're Speaking with her, and to be a part of the Lincoln Project it's really a remarkable organization to be a part of. There aren't many opportunities that any of us get in our lives to be able to do something truly important for a mission that's greater than ourselves. And the Lincoln Project has given us the opportunity to do that individually, but also to pull together this pro-democracy coalition, like you've been talking about throughout the show, that this is not a group of former Republicans anymore. This is people from all walks of life, all stripes, all political bents, and all the rest of that's been set aside, because there is nothing more important right now than preserving our democracy. And it's an amazing thing to be a part of.
Yeah, democracy's hot right now.
Democracy is so hot right now.
Hotter than your Yule log, because democracy is real right now.
Well, I got to say, so you guys have had some amazing interviews this year. Who's your favorite person you guys have talked to on We're Speaking this year?
Oh, I don't want to name favorites, but I have my favorite. They've all been amazing guests, because you
guys have had some tremendous guests.
Yeah, from Ruth Ben-Gia to Ann Applebaum. People have truly learned. It's been like every episode has been about problem solving, where it's like, yeah, we lay out the problem, but then our guests have been able to lay out the steps to how we can actually solve things. But I had the most fun with Jen Murcia. She probably
God, I love her.
Jen's my buddy. I love her.
Yes. She is fantastic, because with all of the rhetorical devices and the way rhetoric is weaponized, and she helps break that down in such a fun way. And so now it's like when you watch the news, you can watch it differently after having spoken to her.
True.
And she just has fun. Like, she makes saving democracy fun. So that's my favorite guest.
And she stress bakes, which is also cool.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
she posts about it. You can see the picture. She posts about it. And she wrote the book, Demagogue for President. So if you guys want to check out her book.
In fact, I have a red hat upstairs with Demagogue for President that she gave me a couple of years ago. And I wore it one time, and somebody was like, yeah, we got that. We had that.
You had it on set. You had it on set when we interviewed her. Remember?
I did. Yeah.
It's an amazing book. And one of the really incredible things is that we've been able to talk with especially women who wrote these books, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, the people who are really seeing this as the slow roll that was happening before a lot of people started catching on.
Absolutely.
And like the Lincoln Project, that, you know, people at one point were saying, you guys are batshit crazy. You're just trying to terrify people. You don't know what you're talking about. And like, God, we wish those people were right.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that we were the ones who were right.
I used to say I never wanted to be more wrong in my life, in my prognostications.
Reed and I have a saying of like, we're sick of being right, guys. We're sick of being right about this stuff. But
before we bring one of our behind the scenes producers here at the show, Maya, I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell people what was the defining moment for you when you decided, you know what, I think I'm going to join the Lincoln Project and have my voice be heard. What was it for you?
So it's funny because a lot of people maybe don't even know this anymore, but I'm a comedian, and I write about politics, I joke about politics, but I never really truly immersed myself in it. Even though like I was a poli-sci major, it was kind of like, I'm going to leave that to the people who like want to be sad, you know, like I was like, I don't want to be sad. But I realized it was like, you know what, now's the time. You know, I'm a mom. And I've been back in the country. I left the US for about 8 years. I'm one of those people that was like, I'm done. America doesn't want smart Black women. I'm out of here. And so I left. And I feel like now it's my time. It's my obligation. It's my duty to join up with a bunch of other really smart folks to work together to try to figure this whole thing out. And I think that's, to me, what I love, 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 love about the Lincoln Project is not just that everybody's like super mission driven, but that everybody's willing to do the work that needs to be done, even if it means like getting our hands dirty. I love that fight. Like technically I'm a Democrat, but one of the things that I've always had a problem with is that Democrats think that we're just going to kumbaya our way into everybody just getting along. And that's
I think I wrote a book about
that.
No, you're absolutely right about that. And I think that one of the positives when people ask, well, you know, was there anything good that came out of the Trump era? And I say, one of the things that I think is understated is how many people kind of woke up and decided to get involved. And like, you know, it jump-started the civic responsibility of a lot of people who weren't involved before, who just thought, yeah, politics is for, you know, those people, we don't get involved. And you've seen an unbelievable uprising in activism and just regular folks saying, I'm not going to stand by as moms or, you know, as people in my community, I'm not going to stand by and let my country turn into this. Like, what can I do? And you find out that every single person's effort matters. And the righteous and collective anger of the American people and purpose can make a difference. And we're seeing that every day. So we're happy to have you, Maya. Lisa, you guys are great. We look forward to the new season of We're Speaking in 2022. So here's to the We're Speaking ladies. Our there.
And folks, if you go back on the YouTube channel, they have some amazing interviews. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend them. I binged a few the other day. You guys are tremendous, and folks, tune in. Join us again with Maya and Lisa in the new year.
Indeed, ladies, we'll see you in a little bit.
Happy New Year.
Oh wait, Lisa can save it when we bring her back. So finally, before we end the show tonight, we wanted to make sure that we brought behind the scenes one of our producer extraordinaire, Sam Osterhout. He is the man behind the banners. So if you are a regular watcher of the show, Sam wears many hats, but he is also the wit behind the banners. And I just want everyone to know that he does this spontaneously. We have no idea what the banners are going to be. So you'll oftentimes see real-time reactions by me and Rick, because Sam is the best with it. And I call him Secret Sauce, Sam Secret Sauce Osterhout. And we are thrilled to have you on the team.
Absolutely.
And glad to have you and introduce you to the world.
I am so glad to be here and so glad to be a part of this team. And I'm the only, I'm the brave one from the production team who came back. So I'm flying solo tonight, but it's just been such an amazing experience. And I have to say, you guys brought together a really incredible production team with LJ and Mel and Michelle, who we saw earlier, and Emily, and everyone at the Lincoln Project is just so dedicated and so sharp and so fast. It's hard to keep up.
I mean, you guys help put together 3 shows a week. Plus, we've got the Lunch with Lincoln team as well, and the podcast. We do a lot of stuff, America.
Right.
And the reason we do it, I tell people this all the time. They're like, "Why the hell does a super PAC need a podcast or a streaming channel?" We know that America is different now. People don't get up in the morning and read the newspaper like they used to. They don't get up in the morning and watch local news like they used to. They are desperate for information and content and fact. And Sam, we love the fact that you help us do a serious job and put out a serious message with some fun and some edge and some humor and some wit to it that I think a lot of people really appreciate. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You guys make it so easy.
Here's the secret sauce right there.
Yeah.
Sam, you and like you said, you brought up LJ, one of our EPs. We love her. Barbara and Emily, and we want to say thank you to Melanie, who's done a great job for us.
Thank you, Melanie.
Sam, you got to tell something funny behind the scenes about us, about working with us.
Oh my God. I mean, it's,
It doesn't have to be funny. I mean, we have a lot of fun, so I went there.
Be funny.
You can say whatever you want.
Well, I one of the first times I met you, Tara, you looked at my resume and I'd worked on Naked and Afraid very briefly. Right. And you were like, "Welcome aboard." Anyone Naked and Afraid.
Yes, right.
I'm usually naked during these shows from the waist down.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I knew that. I knew that, which is why Sam would fit right in.
You knew
So
that
I was
coming.
like, oh,
Right,
okay.
of course.
Sam's used to looking at genitals and asses, so we'll bring him in with Rick.
Writing voiceover for it. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is true. I saw that on his resume. I said, I don't need to do an interview.
After 3 days in the jungle, will they?
Yeah, exactly.
Leeches.
It's been a blast, and you guys are pros, and you make all of our jobs so much easier. Really, and I think that LPTV is such a vital tool in this next fight coming up in 22. It's going to be a big year.
Well, thank you for that, Sam. And we don't do it alone. We do have a team, and we are so grateful for all the hard work that you guys do for us. You guys make it easy for us to do it, and for Rick and I to be who we are. I think one thing that you can co-sign, Sam, because you work with us, is that what you see on air, that's who we are. This is basically like what our editorial meetings are like in the morning. There's
no acting going on here, folks.
Right.
This is like actually how Tara and I, if you found Tara and I in a bar in, say, Boston, we would be having the same kind of conversation with exactly the same tone and the bad jokes and everything else.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Which we actually did do, because Rick came and spoke to my class at Harvard. Yeah, right before COVID. Rick was with me up at Harvard, and that's exactly what we did. Sam, thank you again. And thank you to the whole team behind LPTV. Sam also helps produce We're Speaking along with the rest of the team. So thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. Cheers to all of you guys, because without you guys, there is no LPTV. So absolutely we appreciate you so much.
Thank you guys.
Secret sauce, man. He keeps up with the banners.
That's it.
Well, guys, we wanted to keep it light, and we wanted to have a little Christmas cheer. And before we bring everyone in, Rick, you know that my house is always festive.
It's Christmas palooza right now, isn't it?
It is a Christmas palooza in my house. And folks had asked, and I said I would wait to show the photos until the show. So I'm going to debut some photos of my house and what we do every year, because we love this time of year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And so we are a little overboard with it. Do we have the pictures? So this is the Christmas village. My mom and I do this every year. It's a big tradition, and we literally stand there and map it out like we're civil engineers, and have a theme every year with it. And so there's our Christmas village. It's become a tradition. Outside those are just some pictures of outside, and then also of our mantle. Those are actually real poinsettias. Only outside, because I have a cat and they're poisonous, so no poinsettias inside. Not real ones. But if for the rest of the decor, I will post it to my social. So be sure to follow me at Tara Setmayer on Twitter, and at the Tara Setmayer on Instagram if you haven't already. And you can see the videos of the full thing. That's just a taste of what it's like. You see what my set looks like. So you can imagine what my house looks like. And I have to share it with everyone because we can't have our Christmas party because of stupid COVID. We can't do our epic Christmas party every year. So instead I just have a collective virtual Christmas party with everyone.
Well, I'm hoping soon we'll all get back to having Christmas parties. We'll do someday in the near future, we'll do an LP Christmas party that has live human bodies in it with actual people.
Yes,
so,
and there'll be, this is eggnog, but it'll be spiked with bourbon.
Well, there you go.
Let's bring everybody back in and give a chance for everyone.
Come on back, everybody.
Come on back in as we sign off in our final episode of 2021 with all of our Christmas cheer and glee and our collective support here at Lincoln Project.
Folks, there are about 25 other people who couldn't make it tonight,
yes,
or for technical reasons, we couldn't connect everybody at one time. But I want to express our gratitude and wishes for a very Merry Christmas to every member of the Lincoln Project team, to every one of our viewers, our followers, our friends. This is a year where we should all be grateful. We just got through it. And we're going to have a great year ahead, and the fight continues. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Christmas, everyone. And have a blessed new year, and stay safe, everyone. Stay safe. We'll see you in 2022.
Go get your boosters.
Get boosters.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Get your boosters.
I'm boosted.
All right.
See you in 2022, folks.
Yeah.